I think that worked. Hello, start coughing back a moment. Welcome to TPK Roleplay. People can unmute themselves now. We were testing it out.
Don't tell me what to do.
We are here for literally didn't cough once for all of that. Got to the end, started dying. So bad. Yeah, we are here for Fragments, our weekly Demiplanes of Dread campaign. I am Harrison. I am the DM. We'll just go around the table, say who we are, who we're going to be playing, and then we'll see who's going to earn inspiration by going through and describing what happened last week. So yeah, I am Harrison. I am the DM. Next, we will go on to Jack.
Jack, and I'm playing Vanessa Lucidia.
Luca.
I am Lukalak, and I am playing Whisper.
Mad.
I am Alex. I am the mad cartographer, and I shall be playing Hazim, the fighter.
Your face is gone once again. Are we basically accepting that the mask had its heyday, but now it is hot, stinky summer?
I don't. Well, no, it's not even that. I don't know where the headset is, and I can't put the mask over these. So yeah, I don't know
Always
where
an
it went.
excuse with you.
Likely story.
Fine.
No.
No, that's it now.
Yep.
Will not have. Oh my
No,
god.
take it off.
You put that stinky thing on.
Oh god, you just
That's
forced it
her
over
for the
everything.
craft. Oh god.
End it! End it!
I shouldn't be.
I will fight you!
Good god. That's what I imagine Zio looks like when he gets wet. Though.
I vibe that.
Yeah. Jack's already been given a +2 to the next check or save from Tony. So, who would like to... -2 to Luca on the next check or save from Tony. Who would like to earn inspiration who doesn't already have it by telling us what happened last week? I'm just going to say I'd like it to be Luca.
Oh. Alright. I think it actually is my turn. I think it's...
Have we been unofficially taking it in turns? I haven't realized.
Have we?
I don't know officially, and not every time, but a lot of the time, because it depends on how quickly we use up our inspiration.
We just let Jack get it.
I always end up sitting on my inspiration.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I had it.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you, Alex. You're quite muffled.
That better?
There you go.
Actually, a little bit, yeah.
Do you know what? I feel like one of the characters.
Are you in air traffic control? Like, what's going on here?
I feel like one of the characters out of the Moonwalker film, you know, with Michael Jackson, where he's just got these like weird masks. That's what I feel like now.
Yeah, take the mask off.
Yeah, remove it. Luca, tell us what happened last time.
Okay, so we arrived, but we snuck up on. Well, listen, we chatted with, I don't know, the end zombie from I Am Legend for a little bit. He's a farmer, I guess,
mayor
or
farmer.
mayor,
And a mayor.
mayor, yeah, mayor farmer. And kind of got his okay to go to his town of zombies, and to try and figure out what's different about this town or these zombies, like why they seem to be sentient or like trying to like live out their lives. So we kind of creeped up on the town a little bit and strolled in, and there's a big locked off church that the zombies are like every time we go close to, and they won't go close to it either. We went around into some of the houses, and despite the story being that this town, this farming village, fell to a zombie attack, inside one of the first places we went, it looks like there was a family sitting down to dinner, and in the middle of their meal, without even any sign of them seeing the attack coming, they were just struck down where they sat by blades. not zombies. So that's a little confusing. We also saw, um, and we were let in by Lurch or whatever zombie that is living there now, and he offered to take our coats. It was very, very polite. We went into another house, and it seems like the old farmer couple that lives there was sitting across from each other at the dinner table, not having any actual dinner, and holding hands, even though one of the hands was totally dismembered. The owner, and just across the table holding the hand, which was
Did you
very
mention
sweet.
the redheaded zombie?
Yeah, there's the zombie with like no hair left except like dead scrub, like just pawing at Vanessa's hair, clearly sad and missing her own hair, which is just tragic. Yeah, so we are very confused about what's going on here. The zombies started like very much gathering around us. It started raining and storming, and it's very much like, oh God, please don't eat us. We're just trying to figure out what's going on. We're not a threat to you, and they haven't done anything weird yet. And then we tried to go into the church, which all of them are like, no, don't. In the best way they can
exactly
for
how it sounds.
zombies. Yeah, it was like kind of like that vibe. And then as we were trying to go to the church, one of the like special order of Morfenzi guard, the like
Alex
Falcovnia
recalls an
CIA.
intermediary event.
There's
What
definitely
am I missing?
there's definitely 15 hit points missing from me at the moment. I was zapped by
There were
a trap.
wards.
There was wards on there, and I got lightning.
Yeah, he tried to go into the door and it was like, but then when we continued trying, we were taking arrows from the Morph, which seemed more like warning shots than anything else. He seems to have had his tongue removed. Not sure if that's all Morphinzi agents. What are they called
You've
again?
spoken
We've
to
already met
several
3 of them,
Morfenzi,
and they
yeah.
talk to us quite able.
Oh yeah, you're right. No, okay.
I think it was just
Primrose and his
this
mate.
one, but
I'm not gonna get my inspiration, am I?
we never got like a title for them, did we?
Do we have a team?
They've been
Just
referred to as
Morfenzi agents.
Morfenzi agents, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Morfenzi Special Forces is like shooting arrows at us, and then we kind of go like we're going toe to toe, and I managed to get a trim off successfully to everyone's surprise, including my own. And he's my buddy now, and I'm like, I did the whole all right, everybody, let's be friends. And we're wandering with him over to the blacksmith shop, the abandoned blacksmith shop, and we're gonna try and communicate with him to figure out what the hell is going on here. Meanwhile, Vanessa, and we ended the episode with this, is like, okay, bye, and starts going in the church.
Misty stepped on top of the church roof, I believe.
Yeah. So.
Can anybody hear Harrison? Or is that just me?
Nope.
Sorry, yeah. I think Vanessa's going to clarify my time since the last session. When and how she wants to have done that. I wasn't sure if you were just... Why does that look so confused? Can you all hear me?
I can. You're quiet. You weren't. I couldn't hear. I couldn't hear you at first.
Yeah, you and Alex are both pretty quiet.
False.
Am I back to normal now? Then
Am I?
me...
Now you're better, Alex.
Thanks. Just needed that positive reinforcement.
I use my voice mod this session, so I have just changed it. Do I sound better again now?
No, sound the same. Still quiet. Not like super quiet. I can hear you, but if there's loud music playing, or
Oh no, I can barely hear you. So, and you're turned up for me.
How about now? How about now?
Yeah,
How about
chat can't hear you either. No.
Just tell him it's fine, and we'll move on.
The fuck is happening here?
Something had happened where you weren't speaking. We couldn't hear you at all for a minute. And then you touched something on your thing, and then you were quiet.
Can you all
Sure.
still
I
hear
mean,
me?
to be clear, we can still hear you.
Can you hear me okay now?
Better.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Cole is helpfully giving some feedback. Cole, do I now sound any better on the stream? Because the Zoom call is different sound to what's in what's being streamed, obviously. So while we're waiting for Cole to kindly... No, still super quiet. What in...
Sound
You're
fine for us.
Yeah, you're loud to us now. Fuck everybody
Yeah,
else.
you're back to normal for us.
But was it also me? Everybody in the world... I mean, I'm looking at my Yeti X on my soundboard, and it seems fine. What I was saying in answer to Vanessa was I don't think Vanessa was fully committed to it being a misty step. I think...
If it's one of those cases where she couldn't just get in, she would just spider climb up in it.
Yeah. Okay. I feel we need to be shouting now. Just move that closer. Last thing I was going to say, we went through all of that. I think that's just us ready to go. Do we feel like Luca earned inspiration there?
I think so.
Do we? Okay.
I think so.
Well, you would.
I would.
Okay. Right, so Luca, you get 1 inspiration. And we will go to our session. So where are we? We were in Airy. And we had just become friends.
Well, I had just become friends. I mean,
Yeah.
to be clear, it's charm with me, so I'm speaking for you guys, but like ultimately, it's not mind control.
No, I think when you charm someone, though, there is an impact on the
There
rest
is, yeah.
of your group.
Because
Otherwise
obviously,
it'd be
last
pointless.
week I was like, how has she done this? How has she done this? What does it mean? I can't believe you've done
Did
this.
not expect it
No.
to work at all.
No, definitely not.
It would be the worst spell ever. Like, okay, you're now friends with me. Like, yes, but I still hate your friend. It carries on fighting. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Whisper, you have suggested heading over and speaking in
Yes.
the farriers or something like that.
Let's see if I can see where I'm going. I'm just gonna pick a place over here. I don't know where I'm going. Come here, buddy.
Don't go that way.
Oh,
Ooh, Strahd's that way.
I'm going this way.
Oh dear.
Here we go.
So yeah, he keeps pace of you. Unless you're going that fast, everyone just sprints, tears it across the square, and you see sort of lingering in the roads and paths off the town square, like the wall of zombies. And now, in the aftermath of the ward having gone off, they seem to be like slowly drifting back in, but it isn't like the crush that you were in earlier. Yeah, Hazim follows along. Vanessa lingers. Okay. So yeah, you find yourself going into a small, what looks to be an old blacksmith's. Now, completely abandoned. No sign of glow in the forges. Everything very much fallen to disrepair. Similar to the guardhouse, given you were sent with the instructions before, I don't think this would require any sort of check, but looking around, you'd immediately notice that any sort of iron resource, tools, iron, weapons, resources, all gone. This place is absolutely stripped of anything but would be militarily or utilitarian, all gone. But yeah, you enter. Your new friend sort of shakes their hair for a moment, throwing a spray of water off, and just pulls up their jerkin a little bit.
How far away from the church is this place? 'Cause I'm just trying to go off how long it would be until we reach this place, and then go, where the fuck is Vanessa? I don't feel like we'd walk into an empty room and go, just the three of us. This is snug.
We are about 70 feet away from the church. If you've crossed the town square.
So if it's this building, okay, then I kind of like go in and probably kind of like back myself off, looking. I imagine for a moment still expecting that Vanessa is gonna walk around the corner and walk into the thing. She's just like lagging behind a bit, and then I will bob my head out, and even with my dark vision, can't see where she is. And I'm presuming of like zombies start crowding back around a little bit, like
not crowding yet. They're drifting back in. It took about 20-30 minutes of you looking around the town for the initial mild interest to turn into a oh my god, Jesus Christ, what's happening? It seems to be just the early stages of that happening once again.
So, does their reaction seem to be to the Morfenzi agent?
You would remember from 3 or 4 minutes ago in game.
Yes, please.
He has one in a net.
That it was he does have one in a net, but he is dragged with him. But the ward going off just scattered them, had them fleeing when it went off.
Where's Vanessa? She was right behind me.
I am sure she is coming.
And I'm gonna linger in the doorway. I'm looking for him.
I am going to, realizing that Vanessa may have stayed and that I may have limited time.
You've got an hour with Cham first, haven't you?
Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure at some point, like, despite being friends with me, this guy, if he has standing, like, legitimate orders to, like, not let anyone in the church, he can be like, hey, you're my friend, but I'm still not going to let you do this. So, I mean...
Okay, you're buying time.
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I'm going to see what information I can get out of him before he becomes distracted with the fact that our other party member has not joined yet.
Just to quickly check in on something. Did I hear a second ago, Hazim, you called out Vanessa into the square, yeah?
Yeah, because I don't know what's going on with this guy. I don't know what Cham person does.
So Vanessa, whatever you described when we cut to you, with this distance, you will hear sort of Hazim call out to you about 20 seconds in, just so you...
Yeah, I'd say that there's a moment where she pauses and looks back a bit, staying in the rain, still looking fabulous. The wet hair look suits her. But
I did not realize until I was looking at something in your character, in your backstory for the intro sequence, how tall Vanessa is.
Yeah, she's statuesque.
Vanessa is 6'5".
Really?
Yeah, you're 2 meters.
Really?
Oh. No, I'll shrink myself. I'm not supposed to be that small.
Okay.
Yeah, no, she's like,
She's like
a
almost as tall as
5'9".
me. I'm 6'6".
No, she's like 5'9". But no, I'll change that. She looks back, takes a pause, but then keeps ahead towards the church, looks at the zombies who are, I assume, like looking at her, leering at her a bit, like, but backing away because they are afraid of the church. But she'll proceed to spider climb up the wall quickly as she can and as discreetly as she can to the roof to see if there's openings in the roof that she could maybe access.
I mean, you say discreetly, it would be a stealth check if you were climbing on this side facing them, but I'm going to assume that, there's 3 other sides of the building where you can just, your spider climb, you go up, and you would see that there is a...
I guess discreetly, I mean, like, she's not just walking up, the side
Whistling.
like it's a yeah, exactly. It's more just like Spider-Man.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you see that there is a hole sort of sunk in. It looks like there's been a crack in the tiles and rainwater's just poured in and poured in until eventually a bit of a portion has caved in. And looking down, you just see the tatters of like timber and tile on the floor on wet tiles.
I'm sorry, you were getting really quiet for me again. Could you repeat that?
How strange. Yeah, looking down through the hole, you see sort of like ruined timbers and tiles where they've fallen down and cracked onto like the wooden, onto the stone tiles of the floor below.
Yeah, she'll pick them open and see if she can just like climb in and then onto the roof and then down safely.
Okay. Let us cut to that location.
Please don't die.
I'm also aware that two of you will not have vision on this scene. So I'm going to add the two of you on, but you're not here. Don't move. Do not do anything. So let me know when that's loaded for you, Vanessa.
It is. It's very dark in here.
It is very dark in here. But yeah, you see you have a storm outside. As you sort of, I imagine you're not stood flat on the floor. You're like coming down the wall.
Yeah, well, I'm
like
like
this.
climbing
Yeah.
on top of the ceiling and then underneath the ceiling.
Yeah. So you are way above floor height, but you find yourself in what looks to be a small, modest church. You very quickly identify with your uncanny ability to see in the dark. All the pews are full. Just a silent, almost entirely still congregation of undead. All just sat filling the pews, facing towards the front of the church.
Let me just double check something right quick.
Are our
But how
tokens invisible?
No, you are both.
Yeah, I can see. I'm just saying. Do you want to invisit so he's a bit more lonely?
I don't think you'd be out of control of it, would you, if it's invisible?
Oh no, can't. I did not know that.
Yeah, otherwise invisibility would be a doddle.
About how far up am I from the altar? Like how far is the ceiling from the floor?
Height? About 20 foot.
Okay. I want to use, because it looks like there's something on the altar. It's like a book, right?
Yeah.
I want to use my hand, my mage hand, to try and lift it up to myself.
Yeah, could work. I'd also give you that the statue behind the altar is immediately recognizable to you.
Is it Miss Honey?
It is not Miss Honey from Matilda. No, it is Drakov.
Yeah, that's who I meant. Interesting. I mean, she'll take note of it. She'd have to get closer to see if anything's magical about it. Are there any like candelabras or anything that I could like knock over to see if I could get a reaction out of the parishioners?
Not on the map, but I imagine there would be a couple, yeah.
All right. Before she gets the book, then she's gonna use her hand to try and knock over one of the candelabras just to kind of distract them, if it even registers for them.
Yeah, it falls over with a clatter. There are a couple of heads that turn slightly. One of them looks around a bit and sort of tries to pull itself up, looking around, just like a... But the one next to it just reaches up and sort of heavily grabs onto it and pulls it back down to its seat of a.
As that's going on, she'll use her mage hand then to try and swipe the book.
Yeah, remind me what your mage hand looks like. Just a shadow, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just like a shadow hand, like just kind of.
What's the
extends
range?
from-
Do you need to be getting closer along?
It's
the
like
route?
30 feet.
30 feet, yeah, okay.
Yep.
The book lifts, and you see one or two just sort of follow it with their eyes, but they don't get up until the point where they physically can't move any further. They don't turn or stand or anything. A few seconds later, their attention just falls back to the front as the book just drifts over towards you, and you are able to snatch
Yeah.
that in.
Just take a quick. I'm not going to like read through it all right now, but I just want to take a quick look as to see what the contents are.
Yeah, it looks to be not religious in the sense that you'd be familiar with Faerun. Remember, people here didn't even understand the concept of a god when you were talking about gods in Fort Watton. But it is a book of giving thanks to Drakov for protection. And it seems to be partially like very, very, very mild sermon type talk, like ritualistic thanksgiving. You, given your background, would certainly recognize a lot of elements of being, you know, the dressed up formal events of like military parade and things like that. It seems to, and just from a very, very quick glance, you see that it seems to be in like, these churches seem to be partially given thanks, but also near enough inspection and like forced tithe given. There are things about, you know, if people seem to be strong-armed and, you know, capable fighters, it's almost like sort of gang pressing and inspection with elements of, with ritualistic giving of thanks elements thrown in.
All right, cool. Yeah, she'll pocket it and possibly show it to the others later. Maybe. Who knows?
You do see a number of other doors.
Yeah,
leading
I'm
off.
tempted. I'm very tempted. Can we cut to the other two? Well, I decide whether or not I want to
We can.
go deeper.
Yeah, we can. I won't stop scene, but we'll cut back to the others, sort of getting yourselves dry. Hazim lingering in the doorway, looking back. The nurse on his knees in the rain.
No, I think
Very streetcar.
at Luca, at Whisper being kind of uncharacteristically calm with Vanessa disappearing, I'm gonna presume everything that's going on, that there is a plan that's happening. So I'm just gonna keep quiet and just kind of like stand at the doorway.
I am just going to look at my new friend and ask, can you write and read? Okay, I am going to get out just from my pack paper and like graphite and just hand it to him. What is your name?
And he sort of scribbles for a second, and just turns it around, and it has Y written in it.
I've forgotten how to spell it. And I keep a journal.
And he actually writes, but then, and sort of briefly shows it, but then carries on writing, and just puts Vander,
Thank you,
spelled
friend.
Vander.
Thank you, friend.
Yours?
I whisper, of course, friend.
He then points over to Hazim.
My other friends are Hazim and Vanessa.
Yeah, and Vanda does just sort of, at the absence of Vanessa, look around and, whilst keeping an eye on you, will stroll over to the doorway, and whichever side Hazim's not leaning on, he will sort of lean up against and look out into the square.
I'm sure she's coming. Perhaps she got distracted. We have been looking into many of the homes in the square.
Oh, did he write that down again?
No, he just... You can do it. Don't need your tongue for that.
Can I ask specifically why you did not want us to go into the church?
You can tell he looks very... He's trying to balance out his confusion and his suspicion. There is a definite eyebrow that is quickly pulled back.
I wonder if he's showing confusion. I wonder if perhaps we have received different instructions, or you have more updated instructions. We have been out searching for a missing person for a while and have been out of communication. Perhaps our information is outdated.
Puts a hand up. Writes down. Communication with who?
Who is the name of the person we were speaking to, of the three?
Primrose. And
Primrose? Okay.
I'll say that out loud. I'll say
Okay.
Primrose and Torina. Valstagar didn't have much to say.
Alex, you're pretty quiet for me.
Did you say he's breaking up for you?
He was just quiet.
Oh, okay. Can Whisper and Hazim make me insight checks, please?
Possibly. Hold on.
Whisper, you were just in the flow of a conversation. You noticed when Hazim initially said Primrose, a lot of kind of doubt and more suspicion really flitted across the face for a moment until he followed up with Torina. When is it Torina? You see there was like a...
The leader.
Okay. There's a definite air of like, that person wouldn't give up. Oh, okay. And that person as well. And sort of mollified, he just jots down new subject. And then just kicks out idly at his net, his capture.
I see.
He then writes down your orders? Question mark. Who are you looking for?
A young man that could upset plans. We thought he might be heading for Silbervass, but when he was not seemingly there, we worried he had come here instead.
Jots down which plans?
Um, shit.
Is this
Plans
hesitation
with...
in character, or is this you?
No, she is
She
gonna
is
have
as
like
cool
just...
as a cucumber, apparently.
No, she is gonna have a little bit of a hesitation, but she will try and match his withholding. In terms of like, but you know, you don't know how much I know. Um, kind of thing. And I'll just say plans with subjects.
He looks very confused and just points to his subject on the floor, and then gives a bit of a shrug, like I don't get it, sort of thing.
Okay.
Goes to write down again. Who do you report to? And then he takes it back again and writes directly and underlines it.
I am just gonna look at him, and I've forgotten the name of the guy that runs the fort that's above Arena. I'm gonna say, for anyone that is asking, we report to him.
Captain August, your friend.
Yes.
He just,
And I will specifically say, for anyone that is asking, we report to August.
And he sort of just turns away from you a little bit and just pulls his gloves off and rubs his hands for a bit of warmth. Just looking around. Would we
How
like
much time has gone by?
15 minutes? Do we want to cut back to you at this point, Vanessa, for a few?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
As a stranger, well, as Vander is warming his hands, we cut back to the church, Vanessa, perched on the ceiling.
I am going to scale the wall and just come on.
Do you need to be placed there? Is that what you're trying to do?
Yeah, I just want to be placed here next to it. And so what I'm doing is just like climbing along the side of the wall, at least like a good 10 feet off
So
the
yeah,
ground.
you would have seen doors here, here, and here.
And then she's gonna crawl down a little bit and like upside down. She's gonna try the lock on the door, see if it's locked, or the knob to see if it's locked.
Yeah. This zombie, you see, is sort of looks up and sees you coming down, but you can tell that, you know, they sort of watch you for a moment and then just return their eyes to the front. Well, you know, you get the sense that you are not about to be immediately leapt on. The door is locked.
Me without my lockpicks. Really should have gotten those at the fort.
Yeah, you see another one here, another one here.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and climb behind the statue of Dracov. And
Do you hear a couple
head
of
towards
mutters? You somehow get the sense that it's almost like disapproval, like muttered zombie disapproval.
She doesn't care, so she's just gonna go ahead and climb on the ceiling into this hall.
Oh, I just realised, but I didn't have that door set as a door. It was wall. So yes, this door does open. You find yourself in a very well, not a rather dilapidated looking bedroom. I also realised I didn't map up this whole time. I do apologise, viewers. Let's get that back up. We've just been doing theatre of mind so far. It's been very, very
I
wonderful.
can see it.
We get
Or are you talking about the stream?
Yeah, the stream itself has just had
I see.
our faces so far. Okay, cool. We're back in with that. Yeah, you find yourself in a small bedroom. You'd have seen things like this. This clearly would be the priest, or if not a priest, the person who ran the church. Their room or office, their quarters.
Mm-hmm.
There are a couple of items dotted around, personal effects, all very sparse, and there is a...
She's going to turn on her Eldritch Sight as she gets into the room and just look around to see if anything pings.
There is nothing that pings. However, as you are just looking around, you would also see that there is a wooden hatch in the floor. You have to go down in some sort of crawl space or cellar.
Go down, okay. Is there, so there's a book on a chest here, like on the map?
We'll say they are more just clutter. There could be a notebook that has a couple of observations of the amount that had been tithed or gifted on various services, and you'll notice the full amount. A little bit of quick maths. It looks like 95% of that is surrendered to Drakov's forces, her tax officers.
Yeah. Is there a date on them? Would it like line up with the 2 months or so, or whatever it was that?
It does match up with your understanding of when Aerie fell.
Okay. And then looking out into the main church hall, not actually stepping out, but just looking out into it. Within my field of vision, do I pick up on anything pingy?
No, in terms of magic, no.
Okay. Oh, sorry about that. I'm gonna check out this cellar.
As you lift a trapdoor, it opens easily. You see a ladder descending down. The ladder, you would immediately notice, compared to the rest of the building, looks to be very, very new. No more than a couple of months old. And you do just see a faint glow. Like a dim golden glow.
Like what color?
Golden.
Like torchlight gold, or?
Yeah.
I'll let you go back to the other two and decide whether or not I want to go down.
Such a tease. What is the distance actually on your Eldritch Sight? Remind me.
On what?
The distance on your Eldritch Sight.
It's just let me just double check. It is 30 feet.
Okay, thank you. So we'll cut back to the others. Unfairly given Luca some time to pull her head out of her ass of a line of questioning there.
No, it's more just a whisper. Like, I feel like it's hard balancing what Whisper would be comfortable with, and right now she feels like she's just doing a very poor impersonation of some of her folk heroes. So she is going to look at Vander and be like, I apologize for the confusion, but if you would like, you are here now with your task, and we are unable to find our missing man. Perhaps we could assist you in whatever you need carrying out. If you'd like to go back, we can see to your subject.
He jots down I can handle her. Where is your friend?
I am beginning to worry that she anticipated this and maybe went ahead without us.
He leans back towards the doorway. He's clearly looking at the church. And then he just gives you a... Isn't like a... Give me a minute. And just sort of pulls his collar a little bit and just steps out and goes to walk out into the rain to cross the square.
I'll
Did you take his zombie with him?
No.
give him a minute, and then, well, not a minute. I'll give him a few strides before I follow. I don't want it to look like I'm trying to be following him straight away. Just kind of casually. And I look at Whisper and I look at the zombie in the net. I'm like, don't. Just leave it.
I will look back at. There will be just a hint of guilt passing over my face as if caught in my intention. And then I will look back at the zombie. And as they begin to walk away, I am going to look at it in the eye and say, I am sorry. And then I'm going to just grab the net and please come with me.
It's quite all right.
What?
No.
Okay. Jesus.
So watching the... I haven't said anything all this time. Watching him, Hazim, he strides over to the church, but you see him sort of slower in his pace, and he begins to walk around it, and you reckon you can... Oh.
At what point does he start slowing his pace enough that it might suggest he can see in the dark? Because he's not got a light source, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's not got one.
He's not got a light source of him, no.
And it is otherwise pitch black out here, pretty much, with
Bit
the
of,
rain and
bit
everything.
of moonlight, but yeah, you wouldn't want to be... Enough that you've all been shitting yourself, even with dark vision, walking around this place, yeah.
Sure. So does it seem like... I'm just trying to gauge what
I
he's
mean,
kind of like...
you didn't have any light effect when he accurately put a warning shot in the door next to your hand with a crossbow bolt, so I think we would have established him last time. Yeah, you'd be confident that this guy can see in the dark.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
And yeah, you see him sort of like looking over the bordered areas, looking up and down the building very sort of rhythmically in a way that I feel like Hazim, you'd have enough experience where you could probably guess, but he's looking for grappling ropes. And he just gives he doesn't seem to mind you being with him, but he just does like a full lap of the church, slowly, just looking up and doing that sort of visual inspection, and then just you see him like.
I'm going to be looking off like around the town, like as if I'm looking for her out there.
Yeah.
Like under known circumstances, would I believe that she has gone in there?
Yeah. And he, you see that he clearly seems satisfied that the church is all right, and just gives you a bit of an up nod as he starts to head back over towards Whisper.
Yeah, I will walk back with him, resisting every urge to look back over my shoulder at the rooftop of the church. And I'll just say, kind of like over the noise of the rain, she does have a habit of wandering off. Gets herself into trouble as often as not.
Yeah, and he comes back in about 2-3 minutes after he left you, Whisper.
It's obvious enough that we are not exactly your normal Morfenzi agents. We are more specialist hires brought into specific employment for now.
He seems to be giving this some thought, but doesn't write anything down. Just gives a bit of a slow nod.
You are here on your own, I presume. Oh. You've traveled in threes? There are 4 of you. Does it look like he's... I want to insight him.
Yeah, go for it. Never has a truer 4 fingers been lifted.
That was a crit on my side as well. I nod. Good. Must be quite the task to send 4 of you. More than just taking one of these. And I kind of like nudge the zombie in the neck with my foot.
And just gives a bit of a shrug. Drops down. Inspections.
Us too. A different kind of inspection.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
What is your rank?
No rank. As I said, we are not Mofenzi agents. We are stationed out of Fort Watton, and so, by all accounts, we are still somewhat under the orders of the commander. Even the captain herself. And they kind of like snarl a little bit. But our orders come directly from Rezbanov. Dr. Petr Rezbanov? Oh, is that his look? Okay.
He just puts... Right. Truly.
Not from the man directly. We have not spoken to him, but from those that traveled recently to Fort Watton. But I do not imagine the one that we're looking for is here. So we probably, as best to try and find Vanessa and make our way back empty-handed. What of you? You travel back soon? I'm just trying to be somewhat casual. Kind of give a bit of information.
Right. Soon. I have more to attend to.
Anything you need help or enough that 4 will do the job?
Enough at 4.
Very well.
He writes, maybe you know them.
Unlikely. We have not met many. Who are they? And it catches in my chest! What's this dude typing here now?
Before I just start saying the things, I want to just clarify me and other stuff. He writes down 4 names with like a good amount of space between each one, and he writes down Caliban, Anura, Velsa, and Tirana, and just turns it and holds it to you and looks at you.
Say them again?
Caliban.
Oh, one minute.
I can copy paste them.
Yeah. Caliban, Honora, Velsa.
About the others.
Okay, so it was 4, not including Kim, so there's 5 of them altogether.
Mhm.
Do any of those names? We've not heard those names, right?
I feel like I've heard Caliban, but I don't know for sure.
Mm, I don't think so.
It may just all be our playing off of Kebab and his name that I'm remembering.
All 4 names are Dennis.
Yeah. None that I have met. I don't imagine that many agents get out to Fort Walton. Lucky for you.
He writes, better than being in the lab.
Well, you've seen me and my friend here. At first we thought that might exactly be where we end up. And some seem okay with it. Valstagar seems to be fine with it. At least, so he would have you believe.
He oh no, do you want no insight check? He seems to be relaxing a little bit. You have the low growing sense in your stomach that perhaps you might have just passed a test.
Ooh.
And he writes just, Valstagar is hooked.
Is what? Hooked?
Hooked.
It is both a blessing and a curse, I imagine. One that I am happy to have no part in.
Why is Luca laughing so much?
It's just a good answer when you're not sure what the right answer is there. It's like, that really sucks. Oh, but it's a good thing. Right, it's awesome. It's like, it's a blessing and a curse. I'm sure. Just.
Well, he has powers, but he's hooked. I think it kind of falls in.
He reaches into his coat and just pulls out a thin, like, slab of hard tack and just snaps a piece off and starts chewing and just hardly holds it out and offers it to you, Whisper, and jots down. May as well wait for the rain.
I will take a small piece and nibble at it, hand it back to him. What about this one? Pointing to his subject.
Just writes a question. Food?
No. It will just remain docile.
It's most likely.
What about the one that calls himself mayor? He will let you just take this one?
He
We
writes.
saw him on the
just
road.
you've spoken with them.
We did.
And he writes down. He writes something down, scribbles it, and writes something else, and you can see he's written where, but he's just scribbled out when before it.
Hard to tell. I think over a day ago, it was not far past Silverbass. I lie.
Yeah. Make me a deception check. As you say that, he looks down and sort of writes. He writes past Silverbass. He writes for a moment. He writes right past Silverbass where? Between Silverbass and Lekar?
No. Silverbass and Eri. Further on the road. A day away, perhaps.
So he writes north of Watton? And he just sort of nods slowly and puts his rations back in his pocket. Vanessa. You see this.
Well, I feel like I have a reputation to uphold, so I'm gonna go to the basement.
Yeah? You start to descend the ladder into this chamber, and as you do, the glow gets a little bit brighter.
Are my eyes pinging anything?
In a way, you are also feeling increasingly ill at ease as you descend. Where are we? Until you see,
What kind of abilities? Is it like magical or?
you feel nervous, but it's a very artificial nervousness. It's almost like, too much caffeine. It's like a side effect or something. You can tell you haven't. You can tell it's something that's being done to you. It isn't like a natural worry that is occurring as you clamber down into a chamber.
Whisper, what are you doing out here? She was evil all along. And I see
You
this.
So looking around,
gem.
you see this whole chamber seems to be relatively recently, not unearthed. You can see that this has been excavated. There's a couple of pillars of dirt go to the ceiling. You can see a shore and what looks to be a bit of a slight sag in the church floor. You can see at the top of the beams from above, obviously an excavator, but realise there's a part which you keep in. But ahead you see a bit of a hollow in the floor, standing in the middle of which there is a single large, wide prism of a dark, rich yellow. Hazim! From behind the pillars! A large yellow piece of crystal or glass or resin.
It's not kind of like amber.
Kind of like amber. You see on the floor around it this low pool of what's that, liquid smoke. It would be very, very familiar to you and how your own abilities quite often manifest. It is very clear from how they're clinging that they are either pouring from or attached to this thing.
Is it? What shape is it?
What shape is?
What shape is the rock? The amber rock? Is
It's
It's like coffin shaped, or?
it's very, very crude, but yes. And you see around it, dotted all around this this hollow in the floor. 10, I'm not on the map, like 10 to 20 sort of empty pitchers and kegs and barrels, all of things that have no label but have clearly been emptied here. And I would say, given your vision and the light being cast and the isolation of this place, can you please make me a maybe some no? Do you want to make me a perception check with advantage?
Okie doke. I might try to use my. No, I can't use that right now. So yeah, I'll just do perception. It is. No.
Was that with advantage?
No, that wasn't. I don't know why I didn't do it with advantage. Quality rolls. Quality rolls.
Do you have any inspiration before we move on? You do have one inspiration if you want to.
I'm gonna use it actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Make one more. Not with inspiration. Oh, this is shocking. Shocking. You do see a number of boot prints around here. They seem to they lead from the ladder into the chamber, and there are a number of them around this pile of empty vessels and pots.
I'm gonna try and get here and let's see if I can do it. Oh, she's gonna kneel down and she's gonna take out her magnifying glass, and she just wants to look at the liquid that's supporting this thing, the smoke, the shadow. And so I don't know if that's a Arcana check if you want, or investigation.
Yeah, Arcana.
All right.
There we go. What sort of rolls?
It's a 23.
Yeah. You see enough in this, but it is clearly magical. This clearly isn't like, D&D equivalent of dry ice. There is moving. The more you're watching it, you can almost swear there is intent to it. As you're looking at the hollow, as you're sort of moving around, getting to a comfortable position to kneel down and look, it almost rises up a little bit at your side, and you just become aware of, you can see more of the dirt, and at the edge of the other side, the amount in the pool is gravitating slightly towards you, and that leaves these thinner gaps on the other side. The pool is very slowly following you around.
I'm gonna put my hand over this shadow, see if it reacts to.
You see a couple of faint tendrils sort of reaching up slowly and quite feebly, not making it all the way to your hand, but sort of rising from the mass.
She's gonna try and conjure a mage hand, but the way that she does it is usually out of either her shadow or shadows in the room. But she wants to try and see if it comes up from the smoke itself in the shadow.
No, it emerges normally, as you would have expected.
Okay. She will take one step out and try to just see if she can walk on the shadow. She's not going to actually walk up to the rock, but she is going to just see if there is a physical floor that she can touch.
Your step goes out. It's kind of like when you misjudge the number of steps walking down. The shadow quickly away, leaving a recess, and you go to the floor slightly. It's not any sort of drop. It's a foot or so, and the shadow sort of spreads away, and then it slowly begins to encroach back in around. Did you go both feet in, or just put a tester foot down?
Yeah. Once I realized it's floor, then
it sort of hovers back in around you, and as it sort of leaves a few inches, you see little tendrils of it sort of investigating in towards you, and it always seems just to recoil at the last moment.
And when she gets within a foot, she's going to take out her magnifying glass again. I guess she never put it back. but she is going to, and she also still has her detect magic, but she wants to try and cast identify on him.
Okay. Tell me what your investigation looks like. Your identification looks like. I don't know if it's
What's that?
Tell me what your identifier looks like in this scenario.
Oh, with the magnifying glass, she just holds it up, and she's got her black eldritch eye looking at it, and there's this kind of like flash of iridescence that glosses over the surface of the glass before kind of honing in on any kind of properties it might have.
Yeah. As you're doing that, and like obviously your huge sort of fish lensed black eldritch eyes looking through, I don't have a suitably horror jump noise to do this, but there is a moment where there is a flash and you see just the briefest flicker of an eye looking back from somewhere within the amber, and then it's gone. Your identify spell does not give you a full, complete summary of this. It appears that the information it gives you is it has been some sort of magical storage vessel before, but it is not entirely functional for that purpose. It is damaged, and sort of by walking around, you would see that now you're closer. There are a few sort of fissures and deep cracks in it, and the shadow does seem to be spilling from them.
Yeah, she'll kneel down and like put her hand on the surface of the rock and just start looking through the crack to see what's going on in there.
Looking inside it, you just you see it's like looking into one of those Himalayan salt rock lamps. You just see like the glow of like the faint sort of pulse of the inside. It appears to be empty, despite the little sort of pourings of this smoke you can see.
Smoke seems to be reacting in some way to her, whether or not it's because of her or just general curiosity, but she's going to take off one of her gloves and just expose her palm, and the teeth start to throb, pulsate, and she's just going to hover it around, see if there's a reaction.
Trying to think.
If you want to think about it, we can come back to...
Yeah, if you need to think about that just for a moment. Yeah, we will cut back to the others then, as Vanessa stands in this chamber. Meanwhile, back upstairs.
Let's stop with him doing a bunch of like,
You're really crackly for me.
Yeah, very robotic. Speak again.
testing.
No, it's bad. However, it is also a point where we'd normally take a break. So to do a quick refresh of tech stuff, if we need to, should we take our 15 minutes and we'll come back at just before 9:05, and we will pick up with what Whisper was saying, hopefully with a nice, clear, crisp voice. Please stay with us. There is much more to come. We'll be back in just under 15. We'll see you then. Go have a wee. Hiya. We're back. Everyone's eaten but me, which makes a change. We are without Vanessa for a few minutes. They're just off making some sort of dark deal with a mysterious glowing entity. So we will cut back to the town where Vander has been sharing his rations and is now just waiting for a starter thought. Waiting for the rain to stop. What are we both doing?
Just start looking at each other eating. For 45 minutes until it wears off.
As he finishes his hard tack, he just You see he kneels down and just checks all the bindings on his subject.
Your companions, they are nearby. They're in a different building.
And he just jots, getting their own. He points at, and then writes back, probably, and then just like,
You have obviously I do not know the specifics of what it is that you are doing, but you have a particular one that you are looking for that shows certain capabilities, signs.
and he sort of thinks for a moment and writes. Let's see. Strahd wants the bright ones.
You're taking them back to Morfensi. It's quite a journey. You're going to drag them all the way there, or your horse is nearby. I'm always surprised with these creatures that they would not attack horses, or you just keep them further away from the town. I guess it seemed like there were not as many in the farms, in the farmlands. Not easy to bring a wagon and go back via the road. No. I mean,
And he writes,
you can go past Zilverbas without much of a problem, yes?
why not go direct?
I'm saying with a wagon. I wouldn't imagine a wagon could make it over the land, but you could get more of them in a wagon and go the road, no? Instead of going across the hard soil with the handful that you can take.
He writes, still much quicker.
That's fair.
Make me an insight check, both of you.
Imagine Hazim's eating his own tack now.
His olives.
I've been trying to make an insight check for that whole exchange, but I'm reloading.
Should I make it on your behalf?
Oh, Vanessa's rolled.
Oh yeah, do that for me, please.
Let's have a look. You got a 90. You have a +7 on insight.
Gotta stay alive, man. Gotta stay clever. Gotta stay alive.
He is suspicious. Things haven't made quite a lot of sense, but you've always managed to sort of claw it back or obfuscate it. You can see that, he now has the air of, okay, with friends, you're not sharing something with me, but something shit stinks here, and you can see that he's a little more reserved in himself. He's no longer as relaxed as he was. Whisper, you definitely pick up the vibe that this guy is, because obviously you know a couple of things that Hazim has said have been false, and this guy is picking up the bullshit but trying not to show it.
Am I right in picking up that there's a method of travel that we are not aware of?
So you have heard several people mention that the hard soil is a very, very treacherous area. Only Morfensi agents are able to safely pass through it. That is the extent of information you've had about that particular mode of travel.
Yeah.
You don't know if it's because, they're hard as nails, or do they have some sort of means. You just know there's something.
Yeah. And Hazim just showed that he is maybe not method or
Not what?
misspoke.
You broke up a bit.
Just that with whatever you said kind of tipped him off to gap in knowledge regarding travel to
Nah.
Morfenzi.
I think it's more he's suspicious that I'm asking where his horses are. That's what I think made his ears perk up like, why the fuck do you want my horses?
Hmm.
I mean, I've already told him that we're not Morfenzi agents, we're just working for Morfenzi.
Why did you have to come all the way so far out this direction to find some?
He writes,
Is this the best place to collect?
I imagine all the intelligent ones are from Erie, yes? We found one deep in the woods and he said Erie. The agents from Morfenzi were sent to Fort Watton to collect him. We were the ones that found him. I guess we are good at finding them as well. Unfortunately, though I know little of it, we've been kind of left to ourselves. I do not know much about the hard soil, only that it is dangerous for any but yourselves to get across there. I imagine we will have to take the long way around and head through Silverbast.
he just writes down, unfortunate.
Not possible to travel with yourselves? A shame.
He goes to the doorway and sort of looks out. Again. Looks back towards his one on the floor. Sort of goes over and kneels next to it and just gives it a bit of a by the hair, just a bit of a slight turn of the head and just looks it over, a little bit like a with his hand in front of its eyes and stands up and sort of nods, satisfied. He gets his
Not much.
go on.
No, but if he's going to start writing something,
Yeah. He writes down. Mind it for 5 minutes.
Of course.
He looks between you both and writes down. No harm. So, no harm to it.
Of course.
And just gives 5 on his hand and just pulls his collar up and steps out. Heads over in the direction of the church again, but you can see from his trajectory he's probably going to be going past the church, not to it.
I will look at Whisper.
When this effect ends, he will know that I put it on him.
I think he's already suspicious. Not obviously so, but there's only so much talking I can do to try and find things out without saying something wrong, right?
Yes. But he will still remain friendly to us until the effect wears off.
It is less him that I'm worried about and more the 4 friends that I presume he goes to meet.
Alex, could you put your mic closer to your mouth? I can't hear you.
Is that better? I said it is less him and more the 4 friends that he is going to meet that I'm concerned about.
We need to find Vanessa and get out of here.
Stands to reason she's in the church.
Yes. Any ideas on how to get in?
Nothing
Without-
subtle.
Yeah.
I don't imagine that they know she's in there. He seemed satisfied when he did his walk around. And imagine we're speaking quite quietly and close to each other, just in case your man's floating around outside somewhere. Yeah. He seemed happy enough that she wasn't there, but know
I'm sure
better.
he is unaware of her abilities to scale walls. I would assume that these are fierce fighters. I worry about taking on more than just one.
I think we were lucky that he calmed down as quickly as he did. You and Vanessa seem to know what happened, but I'll confess, I don't.
It's merely a trick where he, for a short time, about an hour, believes that we are his friend.
Charming.
Who says that?
No, me, the DM.
Okay. Because I swear to God, if I turn and the zombie is just making eye contact with me again, I'm gonna lose it.
No, if this zombie in the net had a voice, it would have absolutely been Nigel Thornberry. Whisper, smashing puppet.
I don't know how we get to Vanessa. I don't think we can leave without her.
there is always the risk we could attempt to play into the trickery, allow the effect to wear off, and when he becomes aware, explain that again we were not sure of what his alliance was, that we were sent here on a special job.
It is quite a gamble.
It is. Although I think it would end the same as not taking the gamble if it goes poorly.
Or we try and get in the church.
And then when we come out, there are 5 of them.
Well, 3 of us at least. We know that with your abilities it is easier for us to escape them, perhaps.
I worry that that is more of a gamble. Still. But if that is what you want to do, we can do that.
I'll go at you climbing.
I'm good at running. Not
I fear that when he returns, he's not going to be alone.
Are you
Perhaps.
willing to move now?
Either that or to try and convince them to leave before the effect wears off.
I am tired and a little frightened. I have, I have been playing outside of my element for a while now. But if we are to continue the trick, I will do it. Or we go to try and get in the church right now. We could always begin walking to the church so that if things do go bad, we could attempt to get in to Venice.
We should try and get to her.
Okay.
And you can hear that outside the town square is beginning to slowly fill again. Meanwhile, back inside. Are you good, Vanessa? Oh. Do you see your own token, Vanessa?
I do not. No.
I do not. The stream does for some reason.
Interesting.
Let me.
I see it.
All right. Well, what to do for you? While I'm refreshing.
I
Yes.
give it a refresh.
Vanessa, you were peering in. It's back for me now after a refresh. Yeah, you were peering in to the amber. And you feel unnerved since that, well, this chamber, as I said, fills you with anxiety, but you saw that flash of a dark orange eye through your magnifying glass for just a moment. Deep within the amber, but now, yeah, you stand here.
Could you repeat that last part?
But now, yes, you stand here before it.
Yeah. Well, like I said, she's got her palms open, and the mouth is just throbbing, trying to get a sense of if there's any connection or contact that it might make with it.
Did you say you are touching it, or you just sort of holding
Well, yeah,
it around?
she's touching it. Yeah.
Yeah. You feel as you rest your hand on it that slight abrasion of the teeth meeting on a hard surface for a moment. It was about kind of almost like polystyrene or rubbing a balloon the wrong way. With that horrible little sense of friction that just jutters into the palm of your hand. The teeth sort of just scratch impotently against it for a moment, trying to get some sort of purchase, and you feel the same sort of repulsive friction in yourself. The thing scratches back on some level. Kind of like, it's the closest thing I can think of describing it is when you get that horrible sort of stress heat rash, but just kind of like prickles up very hot on your shoulders and back for a few moments. It's the nest very much feels that for a moment.
She'll take her hand off the rock, and not sensing anything further, I think she'll probably go back up
My
top.
voice mod is not working. The voice mod servers have told me that I cannot connect today. You, as this scratching, as you remove your hand from this scratching experience, you hear a voice that I had a lovely little thing set up for. It is fractured, very quiet, very not hissed as in like a snake, but very sort of like hoarse and forced and panicked sounding. And you hear several voices within it at once. Not like some big chorus of them, just a couple, a bit of like a reverb, and the voice that you do not recognize asks, "Are you here to rebind me?"
Rebind you?
Have
I
you
don't
gotten
even know
what
who
you
are.
want?
I don't even know who you are. What you are.
Less. Less than we were.
Do you want to be rebound?
We wish to be whole again. You have your answers. My
So you would
power
say
is
you're
proven.
fragmented. Like fragments of you are out there.
You said the title.
We demonstrated our power. You know what we can do. Rebind us. This is not the deal we made.
I don't recall making any deals with you. Do you know who I am?
Yes,
Who am I?
you carry his taint. Oh, not in that sense.
Whose taint?
And you hear the several of the little voices at once are all like, Razbanov.
What was it?
Razbanov.
Razbanov. And I've never heard that name before, or...
Yeah,
I have.
that's the surname of a doctor from Morfenzi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For some reason I thought... Okay,
Dr.
yeah.
Pieter.
He's the doctor. Yeah, hearing that name then.
You have what you
I-
need from me, from us. Make us whole again.
I'm not Razbanov, but I will see what I can do.
Do this. And you hear a bit of desperation in the voices. Do this, and our gift shall be yours.
What's the nature of this gift? I've already received some gifts in the past, and she looks at her hand.
Yes. Yeah, yes. It's very, no job, that's pretty much of a meatloaf reference, but it's not appropriate to this moment. But yeah, lots of just overlaying, like, yes, yeah, we can smell it, we can sense it, we know this one, but we are greater. Rebind us.
If I agree to do this for you, then I'm going to need something else. This thing that's in me. I want it out.
Why? It's incredulous.
Don't worry about why. It's enough that I want it out. It's not supposed to be here. Promise, make your word, that you'll take this out of me and leave me as I was before it. Not during it, but before it.
So you seek death?
No, that's why I'm saying before it, not during it.
This is Good, good. Fortuitous. This is great.
Yes, it
This
is.
is destined. No one is more suited than we for this. Give me your name.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Give me your name.
Name.
Thank you. Vanessa Cydia.
When you rebind us.
Bind us.
Fuck off. When you rebind us, and we are restored, and we make this favor to you, we will once again be Zadoom, Corpse Star.
Very well.
And the shadow just sort of reaches up and forms a hand.
With the ungloved hand, she shakes it.
And it sort of turns your hand, and a little bit of a shadow comes over and gives a sense of like a hand being pressed, either whether to kiss on the hand or just like taking the hand in both, shaking hands for a moment. When they come away, you turn your hand for a moment, and just about one hand, the palm is normal again, healed. And as you look at it for a moment, it just comes back. Proof.
She flexes her hand, seeing it as it once was. She looks back at the broken crystal container, looks at the mist. She doesn't say anything. She just walks out, putting on the glove again. But there's a sense of determination as she's heading towards the ladder. And
as
she
you're
will
going
head
up the
back
ladder,
top.
as you climb the ladder, you would hear a much more familiar voice for a moment. Just saying, in the most pouting way, you wouldn't dare.
Are you scared now?
There's a slight chuckle, and as I said, your hands just tighten against your will on the rungs of the ladder. And for a minute or two, despite you trying to move or clamber down or force your way, these hands are just rigid against your will on the rungs.
You are insufferably petty.
Was that so petty or so?
Petty.
Yeah. And eventually releases. Yeah. Not worried at all.
Yes. Well, we'll see what happens if I do rebind him. When I rebind them. And she continues up.
Yeah.
And then when she gets there, how long has she been gone?
About 59 minutes? No. I would say about half an hour.
Okay. Realizing how much time has passed, as best as she can. I mean, it's hard to tell, but she will start to climb up towards the roof. She'll ignore the other two rooms for now, but she'll climb up back onto the roof and then get to the edge and just overlook the square to see if she can see Whisper and Hazim.
And just like that, you see Whisper and Hazim coming across the square. Whisper, are you dragging anything with you? Or have you left it? Yeah?
No, I brought it with me.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if he'd said
Again, I would have asked it to, like, okay, we're walking now. Please come with me.
Sorry, yes, you did say that. Yeah. So yeah, we are all back in the square.
Does Vanessa just climb, like, just waltz right out over
I'll
the...
let Vanessa tell us that.
All right,
Oh,
yeah.
She's like crouched down on the edge of the roof, just seeing if the two of you are alone.
All right, Christian
Without the-
Bale.
without Vander. And then when she realizes that he's gone, she will just climb, rappel down, and come up behind you both. Did I miss anything?
He has 4 others around here somewhere of his kind. They are all searching for more bright undead to take to Strahd in Morfenzi. He apparently works in the lab with the doctor.
Yes, he's his assistant, if I'm not mistaken. It's in the text that we found in the cave. I found something, and there's possibly other things to find in there. It's a strange scene. It's a place of worship, obviously, but it's a place of worship to Drakov, which is the ego alone. But I found this, and she'll just open up her satchel a bit and just show the book and put it back. It's a document of worship, of things that they've done for Drakov, and practices, ceremonies. I haven't been able to look over it thoroughly yet, obviously, but it's something to keep in mind. There are some rooms in there that were locked. There were also parishioners. They were also not alive, but they seemed to be in the middle of service, perpetual service, in fact. 1 or 2 saw me, but another forced them back into the pews as if to stay in their seats and remain there faithfully devoted.
Lot to talk about, lots to share.
I'm sorry, was that his name?
We have lots to talk about and lots to share. My suggestion would be that we move.
I
We do it
agree.
on the road.
Yes, let's go.
We should not take the direct road back. I expect that is the way they will come in.
We need to rest.
Do we want to rest, or should we try and push through the night?
If we do, we may exhaust ourselves if we think we're ready for that, and
Perhaps Whisper's abilities will
Okay.
help hide us. It'll get us far
The
enough
other
away.
thing is, we spoke a lot with Vander. He knows that we work out of Fort Watton. Should we just up and disappear, he will arrive, I'm sure, with his friends shortly, and we will have much more to answer for while in the midst of a fort, surrounded by multiple enemies.
so we don't go back.
And then we have many people looking for us. I think, and I may be wrong, but the best gamble we can make is of trickery. I think that when my trick on him wears off, we are honest about it and hope that he believes we are still some sort of secretly hired agents, as Hazim has told him.
And Vanessa turns and gives him a bit of a glance.
Hmm.
And he believed it.
He seemed to.
Imagine he is better at keeping a straight face than I am at lying.
These type of organizations always seem to have different hands doing different things and not always aware. I think we rely on that.
There's a name that came up. The doctor's name.
The undead are pressing in quite close.
They don't seem to be bothered about us now.
They're just how they were before you set the church off for getting in quite close to you. You're basically surrounded, but they're keeping that sort of distance from you again.
Is it almost Could a smart man bet that maybe the traps on the church have reset?
Who knows?
Well, I mean, I did scan with my Eldritch Sight. Did I get a hit of any like active magical traps or anything?
That's the point. Didn't think of that. Yeah, because you're on the inside.
Yeah.
You would have had hints. I believe it is blocked. You would have seen that it lasts for 30 minutes, isn't it?
What, the Eldritch Sight?
The Eldritch Sight.
I think it's however long. It's a what you call it?
Invocation.
Invocation.
Oh, okay. So you held triangle for assassin vision.
Yeah.
When you were on the roof, if you still had it on, you would have seen, the building, all the planks are all coated in wards.
Okay.
Yeah, very much so. Obviously, magical wards in Falcovnia.
Right.
Well, Hazim, I think you might be right. When I was inside, they were doing the wards. They still appeared to be active to some degree. But more troubling is, in a place that supposedly doesn't have magic, why do they have wards that are magical?
In all of
magic
this
is-
excitement, I didn't even think of the shock on the doors.
I didn't either. It was just sort of came to me. It's like someone whispered in my ear about it. But
Taint.
I'm getting this feeling that I have two theories. And can we say this up and walking? Or are we
we
staying in
leaving?
the square?
What do you think we should do? Do we try and run, only for things to catch up?
We have to fight. Things do not go our way. We will not beat 5 of them. I think we were lucky. Just one.
Hazim, as you're saying this, you kind of notice or realise it's coming up on 15 minutes.
He's been gone for too long. Huh.
Not return him. Perhaps he's gone looking for his friends.
In that case, we move. If he finds us, we say we waited through concern and continued with our own orders.
They will struggle to track us by...
Yes, though he will know to find us in Fort Watton.
Then we avoid it for now.
They will begin looking for us.
As long as we get to Fort Watton, we can at least tell them we weren't able to find Cab. We can
Problem.
try and convince them to not execute the tavern owner, but if he does, he dies.
My bigger concern is that he has now seen you use magic. I believe
they
you
know.
opened. You opened with magic against him, right? When the fight started, I'm fairly sure you used magic.
Oh yeah, I
she
tried to use
used,
frostbite.
yeah, she did.
Damn, I should have used subtle casting. Oh well. Yes, there is that matter. Well, again, if we get back to Fort Watton, we can at least maybe leave on a better note at giving them information or lack thereof on the task that we were ordered to do and perform, and then we leave.
We would like to return to Fort Watton. And then leave there after.
You're breaking up quite a bit at the moment, Luca. You're saying, and then stay there.
Leave.
Flee.
I think if we show our faces in Fort Watton, and by the graces of whatever gods you believe in, we get there before they do, and they have horses, I do not imagine that we will be welcomed back without being put under interrogation. we will be split up. And they will do whatever it takes to find out everything that we know.
Yes, that's a good point. And they have horses, and they have an interesting whisper. And now that they, at least one of them knows that I can do things, probably take some sort of curiosity in me as well.
I do not
Good plan.
know if
You need to do something, Luca. Just wiggle the wire or something.
Perhaps we just chance it. We flee to Morfenzi and try to sneak or bargain our way in.
You think we can travel across hard soil?
And what are our options?
Whisper's just put in text chat in case we didn't see it. Whisper doubts Fort Watine return. She asks head to Silverbus, then onward.
I nodded. Whisper.
She's holding Vander's notebook, apparently.
As much as I know your interests lie within Lofenzi, I am now unsure of the means of which we would get there would be of our benefit.
Let's get a move on then. At least if we can get a night's rest in Silvervoss. Would we be able to get a night's rest in Silvervoss?
I mean, it's night time and we've not rested yet, have we? So
Yeah.
we'll literally be travelling
Like-
back
like what
through the
is-
night.
Okay. Vegetables.
Or we go off. Or we make our way.
I mean, I mean, out of character, I'm fine because I only used like one spell, and I've got all my HP. So like I'm fine in that department. It's just exhaustion I want to keep in mind. Because Luca, does Whisper still have exhaustion or no?
I
Don't
think
believe
we're
she has
sheep
any.
exhausted.
I don't think so.
Okay. I just remember you had gotten exhausted at an earlier fight. So, so yeah, I mean, it's up to you guys. If you want to keep going, I don't mind
All
pushing
of the
through.
zombies stop making noise. And they all just tilt their heads up to the sky. The square is in complete silence. And then even the rain just
If
stops.
that happens, I'm immediately popping the pass without a trace on us three.
Cast it.
I will as soon as I'm in there.
Oh, you reloading?
Yeah.
I am glaive at the ready.
The rain stops. And it is just a square full of zombies with their heads up for a moment. Suddenly, through the clouds above you, the clouds just very forcibly shoved in like a ring aside for a moment. And you just see a bright blue streak. Noiselessly at first, but after a few seconds there is just a that just careens east, disappears from sight over building tops after a second or two, and 3 or 4 seconds later you just hear a very, very distant like you heard an impact.
So something has appeared from above in a streak of blue light and landed nearby.
At initial glance, at least a couple of miles from the way
Okay,
you
so
saw.
over rooftops, it's like, okay, so
Yeah.
not as in...
Yeah. And after a few moments of that, the heads all come down. The noise picks up again, slowly. The rain begins to come back, lightly.
In what direction did it fall, did you say?
It's heading east.
So beyond Erie, away from Silver Bass. I looked to the other two. That seemed ominous. Perhaps head in that direction, or are we thinking that others have seen it and they might be going there?
Or that our new friend just summoned it.
Oh, fucking hell, he's not Sephiroth.
I'm gonna say that's some power.
More that it reported back. Or is there something, a way he has of communicating with the doctor, and the doctor could have sent something? Clearly, someone has magic here.
The impact, how far away is it from us?
A few miles.
From like the trajectory and the height of it and the distant, muffled echo, you'd know that an initial glance would be, you know, at least a mile or two.
Well, whatever it is, it crashed into the land. I wonder, this may be far-fetched, but if there wasn't something sent to this place, maybe for us, maybe not, but could have been a vessel of some kind.
Vessel.
In any event, we should move. We should move.
Follow your lead.
Oh, I'm not really the tracker, am I? She looks to both Hazim and Whisper.
There is no one to track. Simply direction to choose. Which way do we choose?
Thought
You
we
are the
were going to
brains.
Silverloss.
I am but the weapon.
Did you say towards Silverbass?
Yeah, that's where we're going.
So just for my own DM planning, so your intent at this stage is to bypass the fort and go to Silverbass.
Yep.
Okay.
But there is a moment before they start walking that Vanessa looks at Hazim and, you know, you get very touchy when you're wet.
I do.
And she walks off.
I'm going to look to the netted zombie and just carefully like remove the netting and just roll it up and place it in my bag and just kind of look at it and back up.
Did I give you a description of a zombie last week? I can't remember.
No.
Yeah, I think
teased
you
us.
did.
Well, no, you teased us that it looked like the redhead one, I think, but I don't think you gave us like a.
No, I said yeah. I think you asked with
Yeah.
the expectation that it might be. I was like, no, that's
Yeah.
one fast-moving zombie. Yeah, it's just a young man, dressed a little bit like a noble, what would have been noble's clothes in life, and sort of just stops and just sort of stares at or around you with its that struggled focus you see them have, and after a few seconds is and just like tries to nod, sort of stumbles a little bit and then just slowly turns, and for all its intent in trying to communicate, it's very quickly just assimilated into the crowd around it and is with the throng.
Right. I am stealth, but I feel like I'm still gonna hurry. Does that make sense?
All right, David Harrison.
David!
Dave, my brother, will be
So,
like, I'm going to sprint stealthily. You're like, what? No, you're moving.
So,
you're
like, I
moving
don't-
with purpose under the stealthy effect of your
Yeah,
spell.
I'm like hugging the, it's not like I'm like going super slow, but it's very much like as much as I can, I am moving with purpose while crouching along the side of the building, moving towards the outside of the town. All of us are passed without trace, and I'm also rolling survival, just keeping an eye out for the best path out of here towards Silvervoss, but not the most obvious path.
Okay, all of me a stealth check. I'm going to take a group total there. Mummy plus 10s, and Luca, make me a survival check.
I have.
Oh, so you have. Oh, you have done both. Okay.
Damn, Hazim.
Oh, a Z.
Um,
31.
I have-
You don't afford.
could you roll it for me? I have to refresh.
Yep, I will roll it for you. You got 24.
Finally.
Yeah, the three of you
Naruto running.
you pass with nary a trace. The undead don't even seem to even acknowledge you before. It actually makes things a little bit more difficult in some senses because they're no longer parting for you. There's quite a bit of weaving and stepping around them, but you get the sense that they are entirely. Well, you get the sense you are not looked at. You are not like accosted or harassed in any way, and you do make it. You have to head up once you get over that initial bridge, you do see there's obviously the south wood you can quite quickly get into. You're able to find your own way into the woods, away from the main path that you took earlier. And then as you do begin to slip away, the sounds of Silvervass gradually fade away behind you as you enter.
Eerie.
What did I say?
Silverbass.
Silvervoss.
Yeah, eerie. And Ravenlock. The Southwood sort of stretches before you into the night.
I would suggest perhaps we do not travel too far. Seems the undead that are found around here are less inclined to try and attack us.
Unless there are others that seem to travel mainly by night.
We're going to find them anywhere, but at least there's hopefully a better chance that those we stumble upon here are going to wave at us before they try to reach us.
Do you intend
Would you-
to make camp at any point, or are you just pushing through and taking a night?
Spur is looking very much like she wants to run and keep running. But if they look like they want to make camp, I will just say I can dig out a scratch for us, but I do not think we should light fires or actually set up any camp.
I could take but a short rest. I'll be fine. We don't need to camp overnight.
Right. I'm gonna use my. I'm gonna. If we're in the Southwood, I am going to find any sort of burn, firm, and kind of dig a scratch out into it.
You dig a scratch, yeah.
All right. I'm gonna tuck up in there,
Knock it down for now.
and just. All right. Short. Just a quick rest.
Shouldn't need too long. Just need to tend to some of these wounds.
Lex, could you put your mic closer?
I just need to tend to some of these wounds. I think you just need to turn me up because it's like we just do it off all the time. It's send it closer. Yeah. So if we are able to take a short rest, then I will do so.
Yeah, Vanessa will just get in the tree and do her thing.
Yeah.
It's not letting me select you.
Me?
Yeah, but I would pop off a healing word on you unless you're wanting to actually just use your stuff. Okay.
Yeah, I've got hit dice, so I might as well use them.
Okay.
Yes, please do. Passive out traces an hour, yeah?
Yeah, I'm presuming we're going to make the most of it, and then look for somewhere to hunker down.
So we think that we're going to have travelled until near the end of Passive Out a Trace, or until it's exhaustion, or you want them to rest during it? What did each of you have in mind?
I would imagine we'd travel for an hour, get as far away from Erie as we can, stick into the Southwood a little bit, and then just find somewhere to rest.
Jack, Luke, both agreeable with that?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. We get to the end of that period then, and that's where Whisper digs that scratch out. You all just took up. Are you taking any efforts to conceal yourselves within the scratch, or is it more for comfort than anything?
I mean, it'll get us out of the way a little bit, so we're not just out in the open. We're actively in the scratch. So it should give us some amount of cover rather than just, oh, look at those dudes sitting in the forest.
Well, I mean, it's a forest, all right, so we can go a little bit of a ways in. Even if we went 5 minutes deep, we're deeper than the tree line, so we won't be seen from the road.
Yeah, you're nowhere near the road, yeah. As you're there, taking your rest, let me just roll something. Okay. You hear at one point, off in the trees nearby, just a... Oh, that was very, very quiet. Sorry.
Rain.
No, let me stop that rain. The rain stopped. You hear...
Sounded like at first it sounded like a wild boar, and then it sounded like a stag. Can I roll a nature check to see if I...
Bad sound files until you recognise it's been a distant horse.
It's a horse.
Oh.
How close did it seem?
Carried... It sounded maybe about 60, 100 feet away.
It's maybe a little wild, and if the DC is higher, it's fine. But does it sound like the horse that Giardelli was riding on?
I would say, having heard that once in the height of a battle and then heard this very, very distantly, it would be very difficult to extrapolate that information. You can make a nature check if you want. We're going to be talking sort of 20.
Yeah, okay, why not?
That was so nearly not 20 on my screen.
I know, right? I was like,
Master of Horses! Yeah, difficult, just sounds like a horse to you. Maybe. Might have been some sort of weird boar stag.
Okay.
Rapidly homebrewing a new monster.
Horse out here.
Instead of tusks, just antlers that spring up the sides of the mouth.
Nice.
Can't eat anything.
Are we okay to take a short rest?
Your short rest has concluded.
Oh, okay. So this is at the end of my short rest.
That's what I'm talking about.
I kind of like finish tending to some of my cuts and bruises. It's mostly bruises and a bit of scorching. Seems odd to have a horse so far out here on its own. You don't get this with a rider.
Could be Vander looking for us.
Does it sound like it was coming deeper from the woods?
It did. Yeah, it was not coming from behind you.
Do we investigate?
I think we continue to run.
Quicker travel on a horse.
Are you able to create that effect again, Whisper?
Yes. If Tundra will let me.
Am I casting passive? I don't know what's going on with you.
Yeah, neither do I.
You are
yeah,
passive out of trace
please.
casting, yeah?
Yeah.
Sounded like just one horse. If it is just one, then I would sooner find out. Better than having someone at our back. And I will stand up with my glaive.
We have a small amount of protection. If you would like to go out and investigate.
Go.
I say as just like I cast it again.
I will start heading off, trying to hear where this creature might be.
You hear
Oh.
Vanessa hears everything. Neither of you hear any signs of a horse. No snorting or whinnying. No like underbrush being sort of pushed away. You do, just as you're about to give up the nest, just hear the distant, a single moment, just like a bit of scrape of metal on metal.
Stop. Do I hear what direction it's coming from?
Yeah, it's coming from your 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock. Something metal on metal. Possibly armor.
Spread out slightly. Yeah.
Do we want to hide or stand our ground or?
I'm gonna start trying to approach it quietly. That one plus 10.
Damn.
We have got plus 10, so it's a
Yeah.
lot easy.
As you sort of approach that direction, creeping the nest towards what you can hear. After a few moments ahead, further the trees, you just hear, and then it sounds like something being struck, and then just a blade being wrenched out of flesh.
Keep going till we get eyes on it.
You keep going. You push through the trees, and you see a bit of a scene of carnage. A number of zombies lying around, all of them headless. One of them, you see the large, bulky form that you know to be Mayor Baker.
What he
Lying
what?
there.
Oh, one of them, what is dead?
Again? Oh, damn.
Oh.
Who's doing the
You
head
see a large oh shit, I forget the type of a horse, but one of like the large, almost like bulky Shire type horse is stood there just
Clydesdale?
draft?
pardon? Draft.
Draft.
That was it, a draft, yeah. No, Clydesdales are the big ones, aren't they? The big old boys.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, black one of them. He snorts and just sort of stamps. You see, it's not hitched to anything. As you just see, like wrenching a blade again, a figure turn to you, a harsh-looking, heavily armoured figure wiping down a huge sword. She is immediately recognisable from a number of statues that you have seen throughout Falkovnia so far. You see a very rotten head or two strung, hitched on a hook on her belt. And she just turns all to cross you all as she continues just wiping the blade. Yes.
Did she say that? She notices us?
What? I know these lands better than anyone living. You think you can hide from me? Step out into the moonlight.
I will step out. We were not hiding from you. In truth, we were hiding, but we did not know who from.
You are Hazim. This makes you Vanessa. And you very interesting. Show me what I've heard so much about.
It has a name, you know.
Whisper. Show me these abilities that have so many of my people talking about you.
Why did you kill them?
Because they are the enemy. They encroach. They drew ever closer to Fort Wharton. And I cannot remain locked up in Lekar all the time.
So you came out here for sport.
I came out
Do
here
you-
to ensure the security of my people.
Do you mean to tell this story to us? Even though we are not citizens of your land.
Yes, you are. You have taken our bread and our hospitality. You have engaged in fulfilling orders. You are of
Do you
this
not
land.
know that these were different?
The dead are the dead.
The dead do not farm, do not speak, do not mourn their past.
I indulge Piotr. He is very useful to me, but until this little experiment bears real defensible fruit, I see no distinction. You have still not done what I told you to do. Show me. I will not ask a third time. Demonstrate what is making you so worth continuing to take our rations. And wear, just gestures across you all, wearing my equipment.
Oh shit, I'm still more offended you.
And I'm wearing something
I
very,
will
very
just-
lovely.
Do a little druid craft of like some like floating like leaves that like burn away to ash.
I hear this is varied. I hear it can undo wounds and decimate the dead.
Again.
Let me look at you. Then just sort of passes the sword over to her other hand.
How old does she look?
As the picture, I'd say it to be late 30s, early 40s. Do you step two, Whisper?
It's like a very shuffled step forward. Though like if everyone's looking closely, I'm definitely like looking kind of trembly.
And she will step to you, and the gauntlets are, heavy iron gauntlets that are just splattered with blood. It doesn't feel particularly gentle. If you remember, Irina grabbed you by the chin to like look you over. Drakov raises a gauntlet, and what you suspect might try to be a bit gentle or like sort of maternal, just hand to the face, just sort of pulls your face in her direction a little bit and looks at you as a, you may be able to save every single soul in this place with these gifts.
There are those here with stronger gifts. Why do you want mine?
Stronger gifts how?
I worry you do not know everything going on in your own land.
Her face clouds at that.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
How do I not know what is happening in my own realm?
Someone with much stronger magic than I warded a church not far from here.
That is different. You do not need to concern yourself with this. Suffice it to say, I am entirely aware of this.
I
You know, it's
continue
not
to
polite.
come across
No, it's gone.
I continue to come across signs of more powerful magic users here, despite no one seeming to know anything of it. I think I'm maybe not so special.
There is you and one other. My good doctor. There used to be a third, but there are reasons that he now lacks some vital instrument, apparently. I do not
What's his
care
name?
to hear a full story. Virat Junel.
Is there not? And I'm just gonna look at Vanessa to see, like, should we name the name that keeps popping up? Is there not more?
No, not been any signs that Strahd was a magic user.
Dude, everything in that little weird thing seemed like magic to me. In that little bunker.
We don't know that
Really?
he did it though, right?
Yeah. But I feel like I attribute
But
it
one of the
all to
texts says
him.
that he doesn't have power. That he, or I
He
have it
was
in my notes
keeping
somewhere.
food fresh. He had stuff from other realms. I feel like he's showing.
I think it's either in the letter from Azalin or one of the earlier books, but it said that he is either like doesn't have power anymore, or that he's been some kind of human, like humanized or something like that. I don't have it on me, but
Okay. Well, yeah, I'll just answer. There's not more. But if Vanessa's looking like she's gonna speak up, I'll just kind of go quiet.
my lady, we have common goals, which is to survive these harsh, though dignified lands. We've heard many a story about this, Dr. Rabinov. We believe that we may be of some assistance to him in his work in destroying the threat that has overcome your land.
It does not overcome it. It tries repeatedly and yet it fails.
Of course, I misspoke. But defense is needed. We believe we can help. Obviously, my companions are unique individuals. I think our talents would be wasted at some place like Fort Watton.
Fort Watton does vital, important work to the base defense of the realm. What support do you believe that would change the war effort? Do you believe you could contribute to Dr. Razbanov?
Well, if there was any chance to, say, examine what my companion Whisper is able to do and produce it to a greater effect, or to mass produce it for other soldiers, I mean, the possibilities are limitless.
Yes.
But we're not going to get that kind of arcane knowledge in Fort Watton.
Normally there is little to do in Fort Watton until the next full moon. We are already over a week in though. Imagine most of those that wander have already been hunted down. And the creature that plagues the pigs seems to have had its fill for a while.
I was informed that you had disposed of this beast.
For a while. Permanently. But yes. There was nothing left of it.
You did take its head back to the fort, didn't you?
We did, yeah, and I couldn't remember whether because I know there was other stuff we double checked. So
Yeah, I thought you'd gone back and been like, behold, the head.
Yeah,
So that,
yeah,
that
we
was
did, yeah.
that was my confusion, not hers.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Looks at Whisper. You are willing to do this? To allow the doctor to replicate your powers to turn the tide of this war once and for all?
Before I answer, GM, I did a 25 insight check on her. I want to. So far, she has not acted like a mad dog in terms of like how Arena is. I want to just assess her. Not like I'm vibe checking her, but like as an animal would another, like coming across them in the forest. Like, is this an old, beat up predator that's just scarred and like continuing on its like path despite the fact that like times have grown leaner? Or is this something that's gotten like rabid and like a little wild-eyed?
No wildness to her. No, it was very clear to see immediately that Arena loved for killing. Let me just check. Jack, do you have 5 more minutes, or do we need to zoom right now?
Yeah, I could do like 5 minutes.
Yeah. So we'll be wrapping up after this exchange, Whisper. The best comparison I can make, honestly, Stannis. She seems tired, doing it with an air of she wasn't enjoying this kill, and it wasn't like any sort of sport. You can believe it when she's saying she's out here doing it because you believe that things were getting for her. Things are encroaching too close. This is a job. Maybe there's a bit of pleasure in managing to get out at night and and do it, but this seems functional, dutiful, tired.
But also, she will make the very bold decisions if she thinks it, and has been for a while.
Absolutely. Has been for an
is maybe
indeterminate amount of
unwilling to recognize any sort of actual loss on the battlefield. Okay, so...
Well, you're adding that part in, not me. That is your...
the vibe
that is
I'm
your
getting.
inference. Okay. So yeah, answer her question.
Yeah, so when Vanessa said that, my ears would have immediately like gone a little and I'll just look within reason. I will do what I can to help the war effort.
As will I. Very well. And she just pulls off a ring, an overarm, throws it over to you. Whichever one's closest. Whether you catch it or not, it might be a pickup job. Who knows?
I feel like he was closest because he was the one walking out first.
Show this to the guards at the gates. They will allow you in. And you find the doctor. You see what work he has for you. He too, Whisper, will do what he can, as much as he can, to help the war effort. Share your gifts and you will be truly a true born of Falkovnia. And now, I continue. And she
Yes,
just...
my lady. And my lady, I don't mean to flatter out of turn, but you look fabulous. How old are you?
Very old. Older than I look. Older than I care to remember.
Incredible. Thank you. And thank you for hearing us. We want nothing more than the safety of your land. Our land. Now.
Sort of just nods a little bit thoughtful and just unhooks the head on her belt for a moment and just stares at it for a few before back on.
Was it the head of Farmer Mayor?
No. Maybe perception check. You may make a medical check actually if it's stronger for you.
12.
It was not a head you recognised. It looks far more decayed than many of the other undead you've seen. Near enough mummified. It looks older than any of these. And she mounts her horse.
Does it look like it belongs to any of the bodies that are around us?
From the nature of the skin and the flesh alone, no.
Interesting. Okay.
Possible for us to pass across the hard soil.
No, you will take the long way, or you will be killed.
What would kill us? Other than curiosity.
The dead are ferocious in the hard soil. It is very often when we push them back to. They will remain there, feeding mostly upon themselves, but only more frenzy agents may pass through undeterred. And alas, the secret of this is not in the fabric and the weave of their cloaks. Looking over at Vanessa.
Another one of their many gifts.
No gift is freely given. And just puts the heels to her horse and takes off. And as you are, no, it doesn't fly off. It's not Persophiles. And yeah, as you stand there with now Vladeska Drakov's signet ring in a clearing of decapitated zombies in the night sky, that is where we will end things this week. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Let me stop that music. Yeah, that was, I think, session 16 of Fragments. A couple of interesting things happening there. I can't remember when we last had combat. It's been a while. I thought last week.
Last week, yeah.
For a round.
Oh well, that was a lizard's lick of combat. That. Yeah. Let's go around.
No, the thingy. The priest woman afterwards.
Possibly, yeah. You do a good scrap. Yeah, I am Harrison. I was your DM today. I don't think I'm... Oh, no, I've got Dark Echo. I've got a few things that we're talking about. So, I've got Dark Echoes this Saturday, where I'm a player in Lucas Curse of Strahd campaign. Late that night... Can I have a child-free weekend? Late that night, I am running the Curse of the Sea Wraith, which is a Crucible magazine one-shot. I'll be running that here on TPK. If you like Undead and the High Seas, that's the adventure for you. So join us, I think 11:30 Pacific at night for that. The next day, no, it's 11:30 my time. 11:30 my time. 3:30 or whatever Pacific. We'll be on Twitter. The following day, I am running The Worm Witch, which is a mad venture made by some arsehole called the Mad Cartographer.
I thought you didn't make the adventure. I thought you were going to go well bad thing.
So yeah,
made by Luke Hart.
That's where you can. Yeah, it's made by Luke Hart. That's where and when you can find me. On to Jack.
Jack, I played Vanessa. I'm not doing anything this weekend, so if anyone wants to do anything, just like hit me up. We can, go to the movies, go to the park, cast spells, whatever. Yeah, that's it for me. Yeah, I think this is this is the last Tuesday of Pride Month, so happy Pride to everyone who's celebrating.
Excellent, thank you. On to Luca.
I am Luke Locke. I was playing Whisper today, and yeah, I'm running Dark Echoes, our Curse of Strahd campaign, this Saturday morning at 7 a.m. Pacific. So come catch that, and then I'm back here on Tuesday for more Fragments. And I think that's it. Yeah,
the end of whatever you said there. He's showing up a Bonnie Bard. Okay, on onto Mad.
I'm Alex, the Mad Cartographer, and not really got anything to push apart from Crucible magazine, which I don't even know why I'm promoting it. You can't even buy it yet. It's out. The first issue is out. If you're really interested in getting our monthly magazine, then you can go and check us out at cruciblemag.com/Kickstarter, where there are still late backer options available before we turn on our web shop, and then you can only buy it month by month. So if you want to do some big savings and get some cool stuff, 5e content, then go and check out cruciblemag.com/Kickstarter.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much. So we will see you all next week, and until then, Quippy signing offline.